Okay, so get this. Imagine an AI that knows not just what you're saying, but like why you're saying it.
Hmm.
An AI that can like predict what you'll do based on what it thinks you believe,
Wow.
even if those beliefs are totally wrong.
Yeah,
Sounds crazy, right?
it does.
Like something straight out of sci-fi.
Yeah.
But that's the world of theory of mind.
Yeah. It is.
And you sent us some fascinating research to dig into,
Right.
especially this paper, Mind the Gap,
Mhm.
Challenges of Deep Learning Approaches to Theory of Mind.
It's a fascinating paper.
Yeah.
It really is. It takes a really interesting approach.
Okay.
It starts by comparing theory of mind AI to something AI has actually been really good at.
Oh, okay.
Computer vision.
Right. Like
Yeah.
all those apps that can recognize faces or tell you what kind of dog you have.
Exactly, yeah.
So how do those two things actually compare?
Okay, so the paper points out 4 key advantages that computer vision had
Okay,
that helped deep learning really succeed.
got it.
First, huge data sets were available, like ImageNet with millions of labeled images.
Makes sense.
Second, deep learning networks had these built-in structures that made it easier to find patterns no matter where an object was in an image,
Okay.
like built-in advantages.
Yeah.
Third, the goals were pretty clear-cut in computer vision,
Like what?
like identifying one object from another,
Yeah.
which is similar to how our brains work.
Interesting.
And finally, there was tons of research on how vision works in the brain.
Yeah.
So AI researchers could compare their models to the brain.
So computer vision had this like really strong foundation.
Yeah, a really solid foundation.
But where does that leave theory of mind?
That's where the gap comes in.
Uh-oh.
We don't have an ImageNet for theory of mind,
Dang.
a huge data set of mental states.
Oh, great.
And we don't know if those same neural network structures that work for vision
Yeah.
will work for understanding minds.
And I imagine the goals are a lot fuzzier with theory of mind than just labeling objects.
Exactly. It's not just about predicting actions.
Yeah.
It's about understanding beliefs, desires, intentions,
Yeah.
things that are way harder to define.
For sure.
And to make matters worse, we can't really compare
Yeah.
how AI processes theory of mind information to what's happening in the human brain.
So it's like we're asking AI to run before it can crawl.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge.
But haven't there been studies where AI seems to be doing things
Yeah,
that require theory of mind,
right.
like predicting another agent's actions or playing complex games like Hanabi,
Right, and that's where the shortcut problem comes in.
the shortcut problem?
Yeah, AI systems are incredible at finding tricks to win, even if they haven't really grasped the concept.
So they're kind of like faking it.
In a way, yeah.
Okay, so what would be an example of a theory of mind shortcut?
Okay, imagine an AI competing for food with another agent.
Okay.
It looks like it's taking the other agent's perspective,
Uh-huh.
only going for the food when the other one isn't looking. But it might just be using simple geometry.
Man.
If the other agent's facing away, the path is clear.
Oh, sneaky.
Right.
Are there other examples?
Definitely. In multi-agent games, you see AI agents coordinating their actions beautifully,
Right.
but they could be exploiting starting positions or predictable patterns
Oh, okay.
rather than communicating.
So not really understanding each other's goals.
Exactly.
Wow.
And even in Hanabi,
That card game where you can't see your own hand.
yep, AI might be finding statistical shortcuts to win
Really?
without needing real theory of mind.
This is making me wonder if we can ever trust AI.
That's a valid concern.
Especially if it's this good at faking it.
Yeah.
It's like finding out your chess computer was just memorizing moves.
Right.
Not strategizing.
Exactly. And the interesting thing is,
Yeah.
this shortcut thing happens with humans too.
What do you mean?
Sometimes we rely on shortcuts, automatic responses, or learned heuristics.
Instead of really thinking about another person's perspective.
Right. It connects to the two-system theory of mind in humans.
You mean the idea that we have two systems?
Yeah.
One fast and intuitive, and one more deliberate.
Exactly.
Right.
And understanding those two systems in us could give us clues on how to build better AI.
AI that can do both,
Right.
make quick judgments,
Yeah.
but also do deeper, more deliberate mental modeling.
Like us.
Okay, so if these single task things aren't enough
Yeah.
to teach AI real theory of mind, what would it take?
Well, the paper proposes a big idea.
Oh.
Moving away from training on specific tasks
But-
to what they call open-ended learning environments.
Open-ended.
Yeah, like a virtual world
Wow.
where multiple AI agents can interact.
Interesting.
cooperating, competing, and solving all sorts of problems.
So instead of drilling them on specific mind-reading scenarios, we give them a whole playground to figure things out.
Precisely.
That's a pretty big leap.
It is
No guarantees it'll work.
true.
But you're saying, think about how kids learn theory of mind.
Exactly.
They don't learn it by doing the same test over and over,
Right. They learn by navigating the world full of other minds.
trying to get what they want,
Yeah,
figuring out how to play with others,
Uh-huh.
how to avoid getting tricked.
exactly.
That makes sense.
And maybe exposing AI to that complexity
Yeah.
could be the key.
But even with this amazing virtual playground,
Yeah.
won't AI still need some guidance
That's a great question.
to learn something as complex as theory of mind?
You're right. It's not like babies are born as blank slates.
Yeah.
They have certain biases built in
Right.
that help them develop theory of mind.
So what kind of biases are we talking about?
Well, the paper asks some thought-provoking questions.
Okay, like what?
Do AI systems need to be pre-programmed to pay attention to faces, eyes, and speech?
Yeah, like babies are.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
It could give them a head start on understanding social interaction.
Right. What else?
Another question is,
Yeah.
are there theory of mind circuits in the human brain
Oh, interesting.
that we could try to replicate in AI?
Like specific structures.
Yeah,
They're crucial for theory of mind.
exactly. And maybe even more interesting,
Okay.
could AI learn theory of mind in stages,
Like kids do.
just like kids?
Starting with understanding that other people have desires,
Uh-huh.
and then moving on to beliefs,
Yeah,
then knowledge,
right.
and eventually getting to the idea that someone can have a belief that's false,
Exactly.
like a step-by-step theory of mind curriculum for AI.
I like that.
Cool.
Thinking about those developmental stages in humans
Yeah.
could unlock theory of mind in AI.
It's amazing to think we might learn as much about human theory of mind
It is
by
fascinating.
studying AI as the other way around.
Yeah, it's a two-way street.
But there's one thing kids have that AI is still struggling with.
And that is language.
Absolutely a crucial point.
Yeah.
The way theory of mind develops in us.
Is deeply connected to language.
You mean like how we talk about mental states?
Yeah, for example, deaf children who grow up with parents who don't sign
Okay.
often have delays in developing theory of mind.
So language is really important.
It seems to be essential.
So it's not just about observing actions.
Huh?
It's about using language
Right.
to describe those actions.
Yeah,
And reason about the minds behind them.
exactly.
I can imagine an AI
Yeah.
that not only sees what's happening,
Uh-huh.
but can analyze conversations
Right.
and pick up on those subtle cues in language.
That reveal what someone's thinking.
Yeah.
That's a really exciting research direction.
It is?
Imagine using deep learning
Uh-huh.
to pinpoint what kinds of linguistic input
Yeah.
drive specific theory of mind skills.
We could run experiments.
Exactly.
Control exactly what words the AI is exposed to.
Right.
See how its understanding changes.
It's a powerful tool.
This is all fascinating, but let's say we create an AI that seems to have genuine theory of mind.
Okay.
How can we be sure it's not using some super advanced shortcut?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, how do we know it really understands?
Right. It's not enough to just look at performance.
We need to see what's happening inside.
Exactly. We need
Okay.
to open up the black box.
See how it's representing the world,
And luckily, there's a whole field dedicated to this.
which is...
AI interpretability.
Okay.
It's full of tools we can use.
Like what? Give me the theory of mind toolbox.
All right. So one tool is feature visualization.
Okay.
We can create images that show what the AI is focusing on.
So if we're testing if an AI can detect lies, we could see what it's paying attention to.
Right. Is it looking at the eyes?
Yeah.
Body language or something else entirely?
Where he can literally see what the AI is looking at
Exactly.
when he's trying to read someone's mind.
That's the idea.
Amazing. What else is in the toolbox?
Another tool is attribution.
Okay.
It helps us figure out which parts of the AI's neural network are responsible for decisions
So like, is there a cluster of neurons that lights up when it's considering beliefs?
versus desires.
Cool.
We can also use linear probing.
What's that?
It tests whether hidden layers of the network
Okay.
contain theory of mind information.
Got it.
And finally, we have ablation studies.
Ablation.
We remove parts of the AI
Mm-hmm.
to see if it can still do the task.
So if it can,
Yeah,
that part might not be essential.
right. Which could mean it's relying on shortcuts.
It's like we're doing brain surgery on the AI
In a way, yeah.
to understand how it thinks.
Exactly.
And we can use all these techniques to study AI in those complex environments.
Those open-ended worlds.
Right. Let them interact and then peek inside.
See if they develop something like human theory of mind.
This type of research could unlock so many mysteries.
They really could.
Not just about AI, but about our own minds.
It's a fascinating frontier.
There are so many debates in human theory of mind research
So many.
that we could get new insights into,
For sure.
like the debate about mirror neurons.
Right.
By studying AI, we might learn
Yeah.
whether something like mirror neurons emerges naturally.
When a system learns theory of mind.
This has been incredibly insightful. We've covered so much ground
We have.
from the challenges of teaching AI to
See the complexities of understanding minds.
But before we get too carried away,
Okay.
I think it's time to explore another fascinating approach
Oh, what's that?
involving humans directly in the process.
Humans in the loop.
Yeah, like we become theory of mind coaches for the AI.
I like that analogy.
So how would this work?
Well, there are a few different techniques.
Okay,
One is called learning from human preferences.
interesting. Tell me more.
Imagine showing an AI different ways of behaving
Okay,
in a social situation.
like how it responds to a request.
Yeah, or how it collaborates.
Uh,
Then we have humans watch. And rate which behaviors seem more theory of mind-like.
So we're giving the AI feedback
Indeed.
on its social intelligence,
Right, like thumbs up or thumbs down.
on its theory of mind skills.
Precisely.
And the AI learns to get more thumbs ups,
Over time, it adjusts its behavior.
like training a dog, but instead of rewarding tricks.
We're rewarding understanding other minds.
That seems way more intuitive
It does.
than trying to program in all the rules of social interaction.
It's a more natural approach.
Are there other ways to guide AI towards theory of mind?
Another intriguing possibility
Yeah.
is explanation-based learning.
What's that?
What if we require the AI to explain its actions?
Explain its actions.
But not just like, I did this for the reward,
Uh-huh.
an actual explanation.
That considers other minds.
Exactly. For example, I
Yeah.
did X because I believed the other agent wanted Y,
Okay.
and I knew X would help them achieve Y.
So the AI has to think out loud,
In a way, yeah.
justify its actions.
And show it's thinking about others.
This reminds me of research I read
Oh, yeah.
where they showed that giving people real-time visualization
Visualizations.
of what a robot is thinking
Uh-huh.
can increase trust in the robot.
Interesting.
It seems like the more transparent the AI is,
Yeah.
the easier it is to teach it.
And to trust it.
Exactly.
Transparency is key.
Especially with AI that can understand human minds.
Absolutely.
It sounds like we're talking about a future
Yeah.
where AI isn't separate from us,
Uh-huh.
but integrated into our lives.
Working with us.
Yeah, and collaborating with us.
I think that's the key.
The future of AI isn't about systems that outsmart us
Right.
or do things for us,
It's about systems that work with us.
help us solve problems.
Make our lives better.
And for that, theory of mind is essential.
Absolutely essential.
This is a great place to pause our deep dive for now.
Okay.
We've covered so much,
We have.
and I'm sure you're eager to hear more
I am.
about the implications of all of this. So picking up where we left off, we've been talking about all this groundbreaking research on theory of mind in AI.
It's really fascinating stuff.
And it seems like this could totally change so many things about our lives.
Oh, absolutely. From healthcare and education to even how we resolve conflicts in our personal relationship.
Yeah, the possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
They really are.
But like with any powerful technology, there are also risks.
Right. Especially if it falls into the wrong hands.
Exactly. So what kind of safeguards should we be thinking about as this technology gets more advanced?
That's the big question. And it's one we got to start addressing now before it's too late.
Okay, so what needs to happen?
Well, one thing that's going to be absolutely crucial is transparency.
Transparency.
Yeah, we need to be able to understand how these AI systems are making decisions, like what information they're using and what biases they might have.
So we're not just teaching AI to understand our minds,
Right.
but making sure we can understand theirs too.
Exactly. A black box AI that can read minds, but whose own thought processes are a mystery. That's a recipe for disaster. We need to look under the hood and make sure we're comfortable with what we see.
Makes sense. What else can we do to make sure this technology is used responsibly?
Well, in addition to transparency, we need to think about control.
Control meaning.
Making sure that humans are still in control of these systems.
Right.
They can't act on their own in ways that could harm people or society.
So how do we ensure that? Is it about laws and regulations or something more fundamental about how we design these systems?
It's going to take a multi-pronged approach for sure.
Okay.
We'll need ethical guidelines for developing and using this tech
Makes sense.
and strong ways to oversee and hold it accountable.
Right.
But it also comes down to how we design them from the very beginning.
Oh, so building in safeguards from the start.
Exactly. We need to prevent them from being used for bad things
Uh-huh.
or from going beyond what they were meant to do.
So it sounds like we need a whole new way of thinking about AI ethics,
I think you're right.
one that specifically deals with these mind-reading systems.
Yeah, this is new territory.
And who should be involved in creating this new framework?
Well, it can't just be AI researchers and ethicists.
Right, it needs to be broader than that.
Much broader.
Yeah.
We need policymakers, social scientists, legal experts,
Yeah.
and most importantly, the public.
Everyone needs to have a say.
Exactly. It's a massive undertaking,
It is.
but it's essential if we want to use this tech for good and minimize the potential for harm.
I agree. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And imagine we do manage to figure out all these ethical challenges
Uh-huh.
and develop theory of mind AI that's beneficial and safe.
Okay.
What could that future look like?
Now that's where things get really exciting.
Mhm.
Imagine education that's truly personalized,
Okay.
tailored to each student's unique way of learning.
That'd be amazing.
Or healthcare systems that can diagnose physical problems,
Yeah.
but also understand the emotional and psychological needs of patients.
So much more holistic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And think about conflict resolution.
Yeah, imagine mediators who can see everyone's perspectives.
Right. Help people find common ground.
And what about our relationships with AI?
Ah, that's a big one. Imagine AI companions that truly get us.
Yeah.
Offer support and guidance.
Real understanding.
Exactly. They could challenge us intellectually and emotionally.
It's a future where technology doesn't just make life easier.
Right.
It helps us understand ourselves and each other better.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
But before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I have one final thought.
Okay.
We've been focusing on AI understanding human minds.
Uh-huh.
But what about the other way around?
Oh, you mean what if AI develops its own kind of theory of mind?
Exactly,
Yeah.
one that's different from ours.
That's a fascinating question.
What would it be like to interact with an AI
Right.
that has its own way of understanding the world?
Its own beliefs, desires, intentions.
Could we even communicate?
Would we be able to trust it?
Those are big questions.
They are questions we need to start thinking about now.
As we go further into this uncharted territory of AI and theory of mind,
It's a whole new world.
you've given us a lot to think about today.
It's been my pleasure.
It's clear this field is moving fast, and the implications are huge.
They really are.
We've only just scratched the surface.
But hopefully this deep dive gives you the knowledge to follow along.
And engage in these important conversations.
Exactly. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep those minds open.
Until next time.